Hey guys, it's Rachel, and today we're going to be talking about disappointing products that I regret buying. Life is just too short to be using mediocre products, so of course any product that doesn't live up to my high expectations I regret buying. And of course, typical YouTube disclaimer, just because I don't like it doesn't mean you won't like it. Everyone has different preferences and different skin types, blah blah blah. And now let's just get right into the video. So the first product I'm going to be talking about today was definitely a hit or a miss with people on YouTube. And originally I thought I really enjoyed the product, but now that I've used it more, I definitely do not like it, and that is the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation. And I was super excited when I saw Urban Decay coming out with this foundation because I love long wear full coverage foundations, which is exactly what this claims to be. I watched several reviews of this foundation before I purchased it, and one of the major cons that a lot of people talked about was the fact that it oxidizes. I could look like a ghost 1 second, and then I literally look like an Oompa Loompa the next. It's crazy how much this oxidizes, but I knew that going in, so I was expecting it. My problem with it is the texture that it sets down to. It's kind of not liquid to powder, but it doesn't let other cream products blend on top of it. So if I was to cream contour or put on a cream highlighter, it would not blend any of those products. It would just look super patchy. I also don't think this is very long wearing. Within 2 or 3 hours, I feel like I could see it sitting on top of my skin, whereas originally it was blended into my skin, but as soon as I start getting oily, I see the foundation starting to like sit on top of my skin. And I also feel like around my nose area, it begins to kind of bunch up, and it just looks really, really bad. It's just not my favorite foundation, and I definitely regret buying it, especially since it was so expensive. So another base product that I regret buying is the Bare Minerals Blemish Remedy foundation. So I have tried the original Bare Minerals foundation, like the matte version. I do have a review on it on my channel. I believe I'll link it somewhere, and so I did enjoy it. I felt like you could get pretty good coverage from it, and it was surprising. Of course, it was a mineral foundation, so it didn't last super long on my skin, and it was good for days where I didn't want to wear liquid foundation, because that foundation was super, super dark on me. I had my super tan shade, so I had to pick up a lighter shade of foundation, and I don't know why I didn't just buy the matte version again, but I decided to try the Blemish Remedy because at the time I was breaking out a lot and I thought it would be better for my skin. I do like the packaging of this a lot better than the original foundation because it comes with kind of a mesh that keeps the product from getting messy, but this did not give me as much coverage as the Bare Minerals powder foundation did, so that's why it was disappointing for me, and because of that I don't really reach for it that much. It wasn't super expensive, but this definitely is high-end, so this was kind of a waste of money, and I'm still trying to find out a way to use it up. And of course, my phone just dinged. I'm so sorry, guys. So I have a few highlighters to talk about, and the first one is one that's a cult classic. Everyone loves it, and for some reason, I just don't. And I'm talking about the Mary Luminizer from The Balm. I love the packaging on it, and it's half of the reason why I keep it. But I just do not like this shade on me. Everyone says it's like the perfect highlighter, looks beautiful on everyone kind of thing, but I definitely don't agree with that. It's more of a yellowy gold, which I personally do not like, and I didn't know that previous to purchasing it, because when I see it on people on YouTube, it looks like a really beautiful like champagne highlight. So that's what I thought before I purchased it. But now that I have it in person, it pulls very yellow gold on me, but like a yellow white gold, if that makes sense. And I don't really like that on me. I prefer a more champagne, more beigey toned highlighter, and this does not give it to me. I could definitely see like the yellowness in the gold when I wear it. So I am not a fan of this highlighter. I'm sorry to everyone who loves it, but I just don't see the hype in it. This definitely was disappointing for me because I heard so many good things about it. The next highlighter I have to talk about is also a cult classic here on YouTube. I don't hear many people talking about it anymore, but this used to be super hyped up a long time ago, and those are the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Bricks. So I picked up one from their summer collection from like, I think 4 years ago at this point. That's how long I've had this. And it's the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in the shade Copper Diamond, and the packaging is beautiful, I'll give it that. It's like a fake mahogany kind of wood texture, which is really pretty. And I was super excited because I heard a lot of people saying that the shimmer bricks were really beautiful. This shade, first of all, is just such a bad shade for me. This is a straight up yellow gold, not even a white yellow gold. This is just straight up yellow gold. So don't like yellow gold highlighters, so one of the reasons why I don't like it. But also the formula on this is not that great, and I don't know why everyone raves about the shimmer bricks, because the texture is very dry, and when you put it on your skin, it doesn't give you like a smooth sheen. I feel like it looks a little bit chunky, so definitely not a fan of the formula either, not just the color, and this was pricey, so I definitely regret buying this product. I have a few eyeshadow palettes that I want to mention. The first one I don't have with me anymore. I actually sold it on Mercari, and even though I sold it and made some of my money back, I still regret purchasing this product, and that is the NARS Unloaded palette. I will leave a photo of it, I guess, over here. NARS was still cruelty-free at the time, and I think literally a week after I purchased this palette, NARS decided to start selling in China, which means they're not cruelty-free anymore. And I was just so mad that I purchased this really expensive eyeshadow palette and then NARS decided to not be cruelty-free anymore. And I was just super pissed about that. But other than that, I just realized that the shades in the palette did not work for me. The matte in the shade, there was like a light warm matte, and then there was, I think, a light cool tone matte shade in it. And those two light matte shades just did not work for me as a transition shade. So I couldn't even complete a whole look using the palette. And just the shades in general were kind of lackluster. There's a taupey shade in there that I was super excited to use. And it was just very matte. It wasn't super pigmented or anything, and for the price point of this palette, I feel like it should have been amazing quality, and I just feel like it did not live up to the price. But anyways, moving on, the next eyeshadow palette that disappointed me is the Lorac Unzipped palette. This is a very beautiful palette, don't get me wrong. The formula is very nice, it's very buttery and blendable. The shades are very pigmented. The problem I have with this palette is that a lot of the shades look very, very similar. So as you can see, there are two light shimmery shades here. They pretty much look identical when you put them on the lid. And then these two right here also look extremely similar once you put them on your lid. Like one is supposed to be more of a rose gold and one is supposed to be more of a bronzy shade, but they literally look exactly the same when I put them on my lid. And this bronzy shade is also very similar to this darker bronze up here. And this wasn't a cheap palette, so I feel like there should have been more variety in it in order to make it worth the price point for me personally. There are certain shades in this palette that I really enjoy, that's why I keep it around. And the next two things came in a set together, and these are the Smashbox Cover Shot eyeshadow little palettes. And so these came in a holiday set, and I'm super excited to get them. I mainly purchased that set for these eyeshadow palettes. It also came with a highlighter palette, and I actually enjoy the highlighter palette so much more. If you watch my I could only keep one tag, I mentioned it in that video. So I have two of them. The first one is the Sultry Eye palette, and this is the one that was supposed to be limited edition to the set, I believe, and now I think they have it on its own, but I saw this limited edition palette that was part of the set, so that's part of the reason why I bought it. But the photos online did not look like what it actually looks like in person. So it's a cool toned eyeshadow palette, which I actually really enjoy. I'm sorry about this mirror, I'll try to cover it. And so there's a really pretty purple in here. I have a similar problem with this palette as I do the NARS palette. The two lightest matte shades, which are over here in this first section, they're way too light to work as a transition shade for me, so I can't complete a whole look using this little palette. The shimmers in this palette were so lackluster. I was super excited for this kind of taupey, beigey, grayish kind of color, and it was just not as shimmery or as pigmented as I thought it was going to be. The mattes blend out okay. They're just not exciting, and the shades I was most excited for in this palette ended up being duds. And then the second palette that came in the set I also regret purchasing, and this is the Ablaze Eye palette. And so everyone was raving and hyping this palette up, so when I saw it as part of the set, I just had to grab the set. I just also feel like this is a very lackluster palette. I do feel like the shimmers in this palette are better than the one in this one, but I just feel like none of these shimmery shades are very flattering on my lids. I do really enjoy this reddish shade, and I actually do enjoy this deeper orange, but this like light shimmery orange doesn't look good on me. This light shimmery reddish orange also doesn't look good on me, and the shades just don't flatter my skin tone, so that's why I regret purchasing this. And I should have known, because I don't really like orangey shadows on me, but I got sucked into the hype and bought this. So I have some lashes that I regret purchasing. I am going to be filming a review video on these lashes. It might be up already, but it's the House of Lashes Classic range. So I did do a review video on the Light collection, and I really enjoyed the Light collection lashes. I thought the quality was very nice, and these are pricier lashes, and I thought that the Light collection was worth the price. The Classic collection isn't quite as expensive as the Light collection. These, I think, run you around, I think, $9-ish, $10-ish dollars, so they're not as expensive, but I feel like these are the same quality as Ardell Demi Wispies. They're like $5 at the drugstore, so these are not worth the price in my opinion. For the same amount of money that you would pay for these lashes, you can go to the drugstore and pick up a 4-pack of Ardell Demi Wispies, and they're pretty much the same quality, and a lot of the classic styles are very similar to Ardell lashes. And the last product I have to mention is a hair product, and that is the Lush No Drought Dry Shampoo. I feel like a lot of people say very good things about this dry shampoo, and I typically use aerosol dry shampoos, but I thought I would try to use a powder one because I've heard several people say that the powder dry shampoos absorb oil better. But first of all, the application method of this is horrendous. I have other powder dry shampoos that dispense better, but this one is like a shampoo-ish bottle, so you click up the cap and you're supposed to spurt out product from this and like squeeze it out, and it just gets everywhere, and this gets clogged all the time. I always have to take a toothpick or something and clean out the opening because it gets packed with powder and you can't get anything out, and it applies very chunky, and it's just a mess. Application is so difficult. But also this makes my hair feel very gritty in a dirty way, and it does not soak up any oil whatsoever. Alright guys, so those are all the products that I regret buying because they were disappointing. And if you agree with me, leave your comments down below. If you don't agree with me, let me know how you figured out how to make them work, because I want to like these products. I don't want to be disappointed by products. So if you know a magical way to use it to get it to work, let me know so that I didn't waste my money on those products. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!